Welcome to the Protein Bros podcast. On today's show, we had JT Collor. He is the founder of the Hot Feet Youth Track and Field program. On today's episode, we cover a lot of different topics. We talk about youth track and field, what it takes to become an elite track and field athlete, how his system grew into a system that is somewhat of a feeder system into colleges. He has athletes in 70 different colleges throughout the United States. It was a really interesting conversation, something that we hadn't talked about on the podcast before, and I think you guys are going to like it. So let's get you to the podcast. We have a manager camp out every year, and we're sitting in this manager camp out, and it's just us hanging out and talking shit like, you know, guys do. And Freddie was like getting in an argument with Nick Hurd, one of our other DMs. Do you know Nick Hurd?
I don't know. Nick
Hurd was saying that he could beat him in a race, and Freddie wearing boots, he goes, "Let's go race right now." And
he's like, I'm wearing jeans and boots.
He's like, I'm wearing jeans and boots, and I'll beat you right now. And Freddie beat him in a 40-yard dash in like jeans, boots, raining.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty funny.
No, but if it's okay, I will say that. I will mention it to him.
You should mention it to him. Be like, hey, I didn't know you were doing track and field recently. You know, I heard you won a big race. He's going to look at you like, huh?
He just saw my Hot Feet shirt on one day. And he was like, are you the Hot Feet guy, the track club guy? And we just started talking. He told me about what you guys do. And, you know, there's obviously some things that my athletes need that I need to pay attention to. So,
And we found with youth sports, it's if we don't talk to them about it, they're going to create their own assumptions and maybe buy some things or get some things that they shouldn't be using in the first place.
I can see that too.
Mm-hmm. And so we always find that if we can meet the parents on this, as far as like with the youth athletes, especially when they hit like 8th grade or so, and it starts where they're, some friends, dads giving them creatine or protein. If we can get out in front of that with the parents as far as, hey, supplements are not scary as you think. These are just the handful that you need to pay attention to. The rest of it is noise.
Well, the gentleman, I can't remember who came and worked our event on Saturday. But he was fabulous. I put him right at the top of the stairs, so parents and kids had to go see him right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And, of course, having samples and stuff like that. And I immediately was like, we need to get you guys in front of our athletes before stuff, you know, and our families, because they have to understand. I was usually don't eat a double cheeseburger before you run the 400. That's kind of what I knew. Or you were going to see
load up on some pasta the night before.
That stuff.
When I first started working here, I instantly was like, man, I wish I'd have known that when I was playing football. Or you know what I'm saying? It's just like little things. I wish I'd understood recovery in the way that, I understand it now. And it's, I just think that it's, you got to, at the time it was, you probably got the same thing. It's like, eat a couple peanut butter and jellies tonight, Right. Okay, coach, I'll do that.
And we need to
drink extra chocolate milk after your workout.
Right.
Yeah.
Excuse me about that.
You're just in a situation too, I feel like when you're young like that, the kids that work the hardest, especially if we're just talking through high school, 14 through 18, the kids that work the hardest, it really shows up their junior, senior year. The hard work beats talent, I feel like really comes true a lot for a lot of kids that don't have these crazy genetics.
Right.
And you can really tell a difference. And so if you have the right recovery, if you're eating the right foods, if you can really dial in what you're putting into your body, it makes all the difference.
Well, it's crazy to me that I've got 12, 13-year-old girls that text, call on the phone and ask, what else do I do? You got 18-year-old boys that don't sometimes care. And I'm like, but the amount of younger people now that are actually caring about how to fuel their body because they're all looking for just some sort of extra little edge.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Especially it's getting super competitive on the high school level to go to college.
Yeah.
That's a whole different animal now. Totally different from when we got recruited.
It is weird that, are track athletes getting NIA money the same?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a girl named Ryan Miller. She just signed at Arkansas, but Nike gave her a deal.
That's cool.
To pay for her to travel all over.
But that's crazy. That's what adds
She's
that.
got a watch deal.
Competition deal where it's like, it's like, well, now you're talking about like real money involved, not just scholarships. It's like
NIL money.
Yeah.
If we can go get your school paid for, let's go do it.
Right.
And so we actually created we have a whole different recruiting part to our program. We have over 300 plus athletes at 70 different universities.
Yeah, this is 16 years of work. right? I mean,
Yeah.
doing this for 16 years. JT, walk us through just kind of how this all started in the first place. Because, I mean, you got 300 athletes at 70 different colleges over this time frame.
Yeah. I didn't start it for that either.
150 All-American athletes.
And more than that, too. We probably need to update our stats. I mean, when I started up, it was 16 years ago. If you don't mind me telling you where we started.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
It was my oldest daughter. She was 10 years old. I thought she was pretty fast. She had a couple soccer teammates that were even faster. 4 really competitive girls when they were 10. 2 of the moms, one of them was a state champ miler from Shawnee Mission South High School where I went. And we just started talking, and I said, how about we put you girls on a relay? And they're like, what's a relay? And so I was like, well, we're gonna do this, and you guys think you're the fastest girls. You want to go race some girls? And so they said yes. And I found an AAU Junior Olympic track meet in Grandview, Missouri, the next weekend. So soccer was kind of winding down, and I found this track meet in Grandview, and I was like, well, here we go. So I took them up to Shawnee Mission South. We worked on some blind handoffs, some 4x1 handoffs, and I noticed when they were on the track, they didn't really know how to run right. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have time to fix them. I was just like, let's go race and see where we're at. Well, we went to that meet and just got dusted. And I was like, oh, man, you girls are soccer fast. You're not track fast. And I was a track guy in college, and I love what track did for me as a kid. I did track all the way up, and it helped me tremendously with my other sports. And so I asked them, do you guys want to get better? Do you want to get faster? I didn't know. I was just a dad trying to help his kid out, and I was Googling stuff and just some of my college coach stuff I had gotten. And at the end of the summer, we had about 15 little brothers and sisters I was working with. And those girls became incredibly good in the 800. So they were sprinters, but they were 800 sprinters. So everybody kind of thinks they're a sprinter until they actually race one.
Wait, is an 800 really a sprint? It's so terrible. It's the worst race.
Well, I had a coach tell me one time, like, what's a sprinter? And everybody thinks in their head it's somebody that runs the 40 or the 100.
Yeah, 100.
And he goes, my sprinters, he's a mile coach. And he goes, my milers are sprinters. And it changed my entire thought process on who is actually fast.
That is true.
And so it'd be like we have some of our distance kids run short sprints, and they're like, Coach, I'm going to get killed. And I'm like, I know, but let's work on your turnover, your speed a little bit so you can feel what that's like. And if anybody makes fun of you, have that sprinter come run 2 miles against you, you'll lap them.
Yeah.
So it totally changed my mindset. But anyway, with these girls, they ended up being really good in the 4x8. And at the end of the summer, we had, like I said, maybe 10, 12, 15 little brothers, sisters, cousins, friends I was working with. And I told the parents, I go, I love this. Do you guys want to start up a full club? And we had done some drills on the track, and it was really hot. It was like August on the track. And we did these drills, and somebody said, man, my feet are just hot. And they said, let's name our club Hot Feet. And there came the name.
That's simple, huh? That's funny.
It was, and it just stayed. Our colors kind of stayed. We were a little bit different back then, but our girls like to wear these white knee highs with orange flames. And I was like, girls, if we're going to wear those, we better be fast.
That's right.
Like, if we're going to look the part, come on. And that's kind of how we got started. The next season, we started up this full club. And I don't even remember really how it happened, but because I didn't really have a website. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to remember how I got I would just go to the mailbox, and somebody would fill out the registration form. So maybe we had something out there. And I would just get checks in the mail for sign up for training.
Wow.
And that first full year we did it, which is now 15 years ago, we had about 30 kids sign up. And I was like, wow. 30 kids sign up, and almost every one of them was a soccer girl we played against. Mm-hmm. Because they would say, like, what'd you guys do over the summer? Mm-hmm. And we did track. It just got faster. And
of course, it helped them in all the other sports they were playing, too.
That's what I kept saying. Hey, if the worst-case scenario, you're going to get faster and more in shape.
I'll tell you right now, I have a 7-year-old that's in soccer, and it is the fastest kids that are the best at soccer, at least at that age.
It is, and actually they weren't the most talented soccer players with their foot. They were just faster.
Right.
Than everybody
It's just
else.
If you can outrun everybody in soccer, you win.
That's one of our first original pictures. That's great.
It's a big group
probably our
too,
second. That's probably our second year, third year. Because then we went from 30 kids to like 70 kids to 150 kids, and I was like, I'm getting coaches and trying not to get just mom and dads out of the crowd to come that ran track that kind of knew. I was trying to actually bring people in that knew what they were doing. And then after about 5 or 6, 7 seasons, kids started asking, well, what do we do in the off season? And I'm like in September and October, I'm like, well, I'm going to play golf. I don't care what you guys go do. And they were like, but we want to keep training. And so kids that didn't go play football or cross country or soccer or different sport, they wanted to keep doing it. Well, we said, okay, we'll do it in September and October. That group became pretty big. I tried to limit that, but and then all of a sudden it was like 8 years ago, it was like, well, what do we do in the indoor, the winter season? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going skiing. I don't know what you guys are doing. And so we decided to do the indoor season, and indoors become almost as big as outdoor. It's crazy. It's sold out right now. I mean, I can't put any more kids in.
So is your specialty, is it running, or do you guys do all track and field events? Like, do you do jumping, and do you guys do throwing?
We do all of it. We train kids ages 6 to 18 for all of it. The only thing we don't do is pole vault.
Okay.
And we have people that we guide them to for that stuff. But we've got sprint coaches and hurdle coaches and people that have been national champions that are coming back, and it's just really exciting. And this last year alone, we went from myself coaching to a couple coaches to this year we had over 50 coaches on staff.
Wow.
So
that's a big operation.
Well, we started in Overland Park, just training there, and kids were coming from all over, especially when they started coming from like Leavenworth and Lansing and Basehor Linwood and Tonganoxie and Lawrence and Topeka. I was like, oh my gosh, these parents are driving all the way here. So it made me proud that they want to be a part of that, but I was like, how do I make it easier? So then we opened up years ago in Lawrence. Mm-hmm. We opened up in Piper High School up by the Legends. We have a satellite now out in Provo, Utah, and we just agreed, and we opened up this year in Bradenton, Florida. So
that's cool. What made you? Do you guys have a facility that you guys train out of in those places, or do you guys have preferred partnerships with tracks?
Well, in the outdoor season, we just rent from the local schools.
Right.
So typically we rent from Shawnee Mission South, from Piper Diskett, Lawrence. In the indoor, that's totally different. We have our power hours, so strength stuff that we do at KU Sports Performance with our strength coordinator, Roger Allen. And then we
previous Protein Bros guest.
He is great, and we got connected. I think I told you guys when we were at the Junior Olympics in Houston years ago. I think it was 7 years ago. We had done really well, coming from just a dad trying to work with his kids to all of a sudden we had the second most medals of any club in the country at the Junior Olympics, and I was just in awe. Really good mid-distance group that year that crushed it. But when we were down there, I noticed we weren't strong enough. So I got introduced to Roger, and he's become our strength coordinator and done an amazing job helping the kids get stronger, more powerful, and what I've learned along the way, especially injury prevention.
Right.
There's so much more to just working out and being an athlete. Like you said, the recovery stuff. I haven't known near enough about nutrition, supplements, diets, all that stuff.
Sleep.
To help them out. Sleep. It's the number one thing. I tell the kids every time I practice, what's the number one thing you can do for yourselves? And they're like, they all know now. It's like sleep.
Yeah.
Put your phones down. Excuse me.
You, your journey started with helping your kid out, right? But eventually, your kid, it was a she, right?
Yes.
She went on, and did she compete in college?
She was the only one of the original four that didn't.
Ah, okay.
She ended up kind of going the soccer route towards the end.
Okay.
But I remember, Amber went to Wichita State to run. Molly went to a school up in New York. And now it's 16 years late. Over 300 kids have gone to 70 different universities.
It's crazy.
And we've had to actually build an actual college recruiting part to our program.
Right.
Because it's just grown like that.
That's crazy.
The 800-meter run for those girls, it's funny, the 800 meters is also growing quite a bit because of the advent of high rocks. Are you familiar with high rocks?
No.
Well, it's 1,000 meters, Jeff, but we'll let you slide on that.
I thought it was 800 in between rounds.
I think it's 1,000.
You're right. It is 1,000. Dang, never mind. But having to be able to run and sprint 800 plus an extra 200 been increasingly popular right now. You do basically a different exercise in between running your 1,000 meters, and it is wildly popular.
I need to get some of our kids in that.
We've had a full episode dedicated to. We'll give you that number after this, but
that'd be great.
It's growing quite a bit.
Well, our distance kids are kind of addicted. They're a different breed. Kids that run the 800 mile and up, The sprints have gotten faster, but it's really the mid-distance that's gone crazy. It used to be for a kid, if you were a high school kid and you ran under 210, you were pretty good. Then it was 205, then it's 2. And now we got kids. I had a kid run 154 and didn't even make it to the state.
Wow.
Which is nuts. And so, I mean, it's getting faster. We got our 4x8 teams, and like our girls' 4x4 team broke the Nike national record 2 years ago in Oregon.
How old was that group?
They were all juniors at the time and one sophomore.
Wow.
Incredible race. I just love the video that we have. The girl that anchored that actually got a full ride to just about any place and decided to go to Princeton.
With the growth and the popularity of just running in general, these run clubs are popping up all over the country. Has that translated well to Hot Feet as well?
Yeah, I mean, our numbers not only grown, but there's tons of clubs in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. There's some really great coaches and good people. But if you look at our state championships now, we can go toe-to-toe with about anybody. Like Texas has got the speed they always talk about like that. We can put 4 people on the track to go up against them any day of the week. They just have 40. Mm-hmm. But you can only run one relay team. Mm-hmm. Right? So we can at least hang like that. But the growth in all of it, I mean, all the clubs, the times around the nation, it's just incredible. And again, I hope everybody falls in love with track and field. But if they don't, they will be faster and more in shape. It's pretty simple.
For those that don't get to that don't go move on to to college athletics, et cetera. What is kind of the mission statement behind Hot Feet that caters to the to all of everybody that's a part of it?
Oh, I love the question because it's more like personal accomplishment, probably. We try to get a lot of the kids to understand like it's not about winning and losing in track. If you do that, you'll do it once. You don't win a lot in track. Mm-hmm. It's about personal accomplishment. So if you can step off the track, and it takes a lot of guts for a kid to get on the track knowing they're not going to get first place in front of 3,000 people, and they're 10, and knowing they might get dusted, but they don't care. They get done, and they look at mom and dad, and they go, we dropped 2 seconds off our time. So I think that teaches them in life to just keep bouncing, keep going. Use a lot of the stay in your lane. Look at the person next to you. You can't control how fast they are. Don't worry about them. Worry about yourself and your own focus. And I think hopefully that translates. The amount of coaches that we have now that used to run for me and now are all back as coaches. The kids that have graduated from college that now have their own careers that now donate back to the club. It's just a really good feeling.
Yeah, man. Really built something special.
Getting back to what I was saying, I kind of forgot to follow through on my question, but it's in regards to this. When your kids moved on away from it, what made you decide that was what you were passionate about and you wanted to keep going with the club?
Oh God, you spend a lot of time together. Right. I mean, I feel like they're my kids. Mm-hmm. And I recently got married. I have a new 6 and 7-year-old. I'm 56 years old. And some of my buddies were like, you sure you want to do that again? I'm like, I'm with 500 young kids every day. What's 2 more?
That's
I'm
true.
like, no, I mean, I think it's the way that they made me feel. Coaching and stuff like that, watching their hard work, dedication. You got one kid just PRs and is just happy as heck, and another kid making the Junior Olympics, and then somebody else crying. The emotions is up and down, but it makes you really fight for them. And just became really passionate about the club. Now, I mean, kids in college contacting me every day, telling me how their practices are and stuff like that. That's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're going to be cool.
Well, you talked about your D coordinator. We were off the mic, right? Your D coordinator in college, your coach back then, and it's like, the amount of people that showed up to his funerals because of the amount of people that he poured into over the years.
Insane. These coaches that have coached for that many years, and I only get the kids in the club world. I mean, I really get them a couple days a week for practice. Their high school coaches do the majority of the work with them because they get them all season for 5, 6, 7 days. The fact that they want to keep coming back. But when I think about some of these coaches, being in the game for 50 years. We have a coach named Coach Severino who coached at Rockhurst. He's got like 5 grandkids on our team. He loves what we do. He's so passionate, and he was so mean to me when I played against him because he wouldn't let me catch the ball. But when I think about it, he's in the Missouri Hall of Fame, the amount of kids that those guys have reached in their heartstrings and things along the way, the number's got to be astronomical.
You know how many years that you plan on coaching, JT?
Oh, yeah, I'm hoping – well, I told my wife I'd be 75 when I step off. So there's just so many more things now. Hosting our own track meet, our recruiting program, there's just a lot more. And I want to get past the admin stuff that I'm doing right now behind the scenes so I can build it correctly so now I can go back to coaching. Because that's my favorite thing. I just want to yell at kids to run faster. That's kind of what I'm good at. And the 400 is, I train our 400 runners, and that's a little bit of a love-hate relationship. So, you know.
What's worse, a 400 or an 800? It's a toss-up.
It's a different. The way I try to explain it is, because even our 800 studs will say, why is the 400 so much harder sometimes? And I think it's because you blow through the oxygen in your bloodstream so fast.
Yeah.
That you're running the last 50 meters on nothing but your passion and your heart and drive. And in the 8 or mile up, although the 8s become so fast, you replenish a little oxygen in your blood as you're running.
Right.
Where in the 400 like that, you're out of it.
I made Jeff run some 400s yesterday, and he had a lot of passion. He dug down deep at the end of it.
Well, if you're doing more than 2 400 repeats, there's something wrong.
We did
abs are quite a few V-ups.
We did quite a few 400s.
Good for you guys.
Smoked me, man. But this whole, the run club trend, do you see it continuing to rise? Do you feel like it's going to fizzle out? Where do you feel like we're at with it all?
Oh, no. I think with the amount of people that get in these 5Ks and 10Ks, and 5Ks for fun, and the companies and the way that they're hosting these meets, not just meets, but the runs and stuff like that, it's getting bigger, and I just can't imagine. It's part of a healthy lifestyle. I have noticed, though, a lot of people that run marathons or half marathons now or 5Ks weren't necessarily runners in high school. These are mom and dads that just sort of got the bug, and now they're just kind of get addicted. Some of us old athletes, I don't want to run any more 400s. But I think I only see that getting better and bigger. And that's probably more why there's more, nutrition that's needed, more supplements, more things for people. I mean, because it's not just 16-year-olds that are doing this stuff. It's 66-year-olds.
I'm with you on that, man.
I definitely think there's, the trend to, self-care, take care of yourself, is definitely rising. So, and I think run clubs are just a natural part of that because weight rooms can be intimidating. A lot of times if you weren't the athlete in high school, you look at a weight room like it's a really intimidating place, but anybody can go beat the streets, even though that's not true. In your eyes, you'd probably watch some people run. And you're like, that's going to end up hurting that person. But.
Well, that's why we have actually a physical therapy partner. We've had a group named Core Strategies, Daniil and Jennifer. I partnered up with them when I started 15. So it was about a year after we started. Mm-hmm. I was just used to yelling at kids to run faster, and we have to do injury prevention.
Yeah.
You can't just touch your toes and run, and that's kind of what I knew. So, done a lot of research, and our warm-up is actually designed by a group to actively activate muscles correctly, and stuff I didn't know about. And that's the same when it comes to the nutrition part. I think there's a reason there's so much of the wellness things that's out there, self-care.
Right.
It's everywhere. And so that's a good thing for people.
Sure.
But they got to get knowledge. They got to learn. They got to something I think we might have talked about was getting in front of the curve.
Yeah.
Right. What is somebody in 8th grade supposed to take?
Yeah.
Instead of just mom and dad just kind of wheeling it and grabbing some protein out of the closet and throwing it. I think there's a way to do this better, and getting people in front of our athletes and our families is going to be huge.
Right. Right. I want to kind of shift on what we're talking about. If I think about when I was a kid and when I was made to run, I always looked at it like this is a punishment. I don't know if you felt like that, but like I always had to run if I was late to practice or something like that, right? So I was always kind of a baby when it came to running. And especially you're talking about, younger kids running 800s. How do you develop mental toughness in a younger kid that is doing something? Running an 800 as hard as you can is pretty brutal, as far as having to push through, being tired and your legs feeling like they're going to fall off. How do you specifically as a coach develop that mental toughness?
Well, I think that's a good question too. First of all, we have a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. We have to throw fun in there.
This is fun. You're going to like this.
It's interesting because most people's punishment was their running.
Right.
Right. It was the worst part about football when you're tired. What was the worst part about basketball doing suicides. Where you do all this stuff. Baseball players that don't even love to run, and they got to go run around the tree or the fence and back. They all hated it. What do they hate about our practice? I'm like, the whole thing. And so making sure we keep it fun. We are huge on as soon as they get done, hey, high five somebody new. And track athletes are really good like that. I think sitting down and getting to know a kid and understanding what their personal accomplishments are, what their goals are.
So you're saying positive reinforcement as much as anything.
I'm the yeller that's high-fiving and running back and forth and just letting them know that I love them.
Yeah.
There's times, I got to tune up my boys sometimes.
Right.
But that's just part of the game. I mean, you're not doing this for fun. Somebody's paying you to be here.
Right.
Or you're paying to be this. So if you're going to do this, if not.
Winning is more fun than fun is the phrase we like to use.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Winning is more fun than fun is fun.
Well, and the winning part again with us is the personal accomplishment stuff. I love it when I said the best races are never for first place. Typically, they're for 15th and 16th or 32nd and 33rd because there's two people that said not today. This is my day. Those are the fun races. And the cool thing about track and field community, and probably a cross country like this, although that's not really my world, but the track and field stuff is that people just absolutely come unglued when a kid's doing good. They don't care what uniform they have on. Now, when it comes to relays, that's a little bit different. We like to go at each other a little bit, but that's the competitive part like that. But if a family sees another kid with another uniform on killing it, they're going to stand up and scream, and they do at track meets. So I think that's good, and it's for 15th or 16th place. And you can hear track mom. Track mom screams from a long way away.
Right.
So you can hear her.
Yeah.
You actually took the question out of my mouth earlier, JT. You mentioned cross country. I was just going to ask how much hot feet. Did you guys ever try to bleed into that as well? Just because there are mile runners, in both categories.
Yeah, no, I've been asked to do that, but it's there's some great groups in Kansas City already that do that. There's a group of Brokaw Blazers, other groups that we just refer to kids to in that season. That way I can stick with in September and October, we do just strictly speed training. Just trying to teach kids actually how to run right. But we haven't really wanted to get in the cross-country world. But, we have a lot that were just at the state championships.
Sure.
And now they're looking forward to – and in our indoor season, they don't pay us to come run 5 miles. They can go do that stuff on their own. We really work on their more 800-mile times.
Speaking to how long you've been doing this, right? Kids, I think it's common to hear nowadays that, kids are all different, totally different era of how they're being brought up. They have phones, they got screens, they got social media. How has that affected how you've been able to coach, or has it at all?
I don't think it has. It's just that I see the same work ethic from a kid from 15 years ago that I saw like yesterday. You just see the same thing. Most of the people, when they're doing this stuff, mom and dad didn't force them to come do this. They want to be there. They want to be pushed. Just make sure it's in a correct, positive way. But I haven't really seen that stuff. Now the social media stuff we have to address, especially if they're an older kid and they're on some of it, and especially if they're thinking about getting recruited, we have to make sure that we're on the same page of what they're posting.
Sure.
Colleges will yank stuff pretty quick.
So what kind of guidelines do you try to give them?
Just to think about, would they do that if mom and dad were standing right next to them? If I were standing right next to them, how would I feel about that? How would your parents feel about that stuff? You might not think it's that big of a deal. And we address certain things, whether it's vaping or drinking or smoking weed or whatever it is. We make sure that they know. Because it's in front of them all,
Oh, yeah.
It's not in front of them when they're 15. It's in front of them when they're 12.
Right. That is a different thing about kids nowadays is the innocence is lost much quicker because of the internet.
I have to have conversations. I'm proud that parents will call me on the phone and say, I don't know how to handle, X kid. Is there any way he respects you as a coach, or she does? Can you spend a few minutes talking to him? So I do that, probably on a monthly basis.
Really?
And it's to me, sometimes it's not really a life and death situation, but to that parent it is.
Well,
it's their baby. So,
and also, it's upstream from something that could eventually become worse, than if it's not nipped in the bud early with a lot of different things. At least that's how I feel about it with my kids.
No, I think and it's okay to get it out in front.
Yeah.
And not try to chase it. So we try to do that. Our older kids are really good leaders. So there's times at practice I'll have the younger kids warmed down with the older kids. They got to get a chance to know them. I got a 6-year-old that's running with an 18-year-old. And then parents come to a track meet and they're like, who is yelling for my 6-year-old son? Mm-hmm. Yeah, all my 17 and 18-year-old girls are standing out there screaming for somebody because they just addicted. They love it. Yeah. And I remind them that's where you were. Mm-hmm. So we train, sorry, this is kind of a side thing, but we train 7 and 12-year-olds together. We train our 13 and 18-year-olds together. And or some 6-year-olds, I should say, 6 to 12 and 13 to 18. But we make sure that the younger kids a lot of times know what the older kids' records are. And I'll have them point them out. I go, you see that girl? Go tell her you're going to break her record one day. And that's fun.
Create a little competition.
And we have 12-year-olds that want to move up to the 13-year-old practice because they don't want to deal with the little ones. Right. And I go, no. Don't you remember when you were the little one and you were the pain?
Right.
Now you're leader. So teaches them how to be that, take over that responsibility a little bit. They were like, I didn't act like that. I'm like, oh, yeah, you did.
I love that. I love that, man. Like I said, so it's surprising to me. Like that part's a little surprising to me to hear that, the youth today is feeling the same as the youth it was 16 years ago, which I'm happy to hear. I think that's awesome.
It's hard when you say my generation or this generation did this. I think there's one common ground, especially for athletes, is work hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's nothing.
It takes what it takes.
But nowadays, it's not because, now, back in the day, like football, we were tougher, we were harder back then and all this stuff, the game's softer. That made the game smarter. There's a reason there's tackling drills the way they do it. We got to keep people in the game a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. And there's stuff for me when I used to just shove kids and push until I didn't realize, man, I don't want to hurt their hamstring.
Right.
So, okay, let's pull it back and let's do it. And that's not being soft, that's being smart.
Right.
So just work ethic is what I noticed.
Shifting to these different satellite locations that you've opened up, how recent is that? How many years ago was the first one opening?
Well, we opened up in Utah 3 years ago, mm-hmm. and we're opening up in Bradenton, Florida in January. So our season basically will be April, May, June, and July down there. Mm-hmm.
But what made those locations pop up first? Was it a relationship or?
Yeah, well, like in Bradenton, for example, one of our coaches that was here, Mike Lee, years ago, he was his daughter was on our team. Mike played football down in high school in Oklahoma, great guy. And Mike and his family moved to Florida, and I'd asked him to coach. So he was coaching for a couple of years. I mean, kids love Coach Mike. And he moved his family down to that area, and he'd been asking me, we talked about it a little bit here and there. Well, he's a big football guy, and he started up football down there, and I don't even know how many teams Mike has, 10 of 14-year-olds and under, so you got the 8s, the 9s, the 10s, whatever, so he's got a lot. And recently we were talking, and he said, I really want to do the track and field thing now. How do we do this together? And I'd already done it in Utah, and I couldn't pick a better guy to do this in Florida. And he was getting not bothered by the football thing. And the football thing was, okay, they get done playing tackle, they immediately go to flag or 7-on-7 now. And it's consistent. Nobody's working out. Kids aren't getting stronger, they're not getting faster, and he can see it. So he said, I'm not doing this anymore. You guys, we're not playing, I don't want you to go to flag or 7-on-7. It's not that stuff's bad, it's just we need a break, and we have to actually get stronger. And so we decided to see if the football teams would be interested in doing track and field. There's already tons of teams in Florida, and it's in IMG's backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And so I decided to be a little thorn, and I'm going to put it in right there. And you don't have to be a 10-flat 100 runner to come join us. You can be a 12-second 100 runner, and we're going to help you get faster. And so anyway, that's kind of how we got started. In Utah, it was actually my mom had dated a gentleman back in the day. Her name's Dee Dee Bazee, this man's daughter. She went to Washburn Rural, was a stud hurdler. So we were kind of family there for about 5 or 6 years, Thanksgiving and stuff like that together. I was in college and she was in high school. Well, she ended up doing really well at Washburn. She took a scholarship down to Arizona. Arizona turned her into a multi, and then she became all Pac-12. And so I don't even know what Dee Dee is now. Got to be getting close to 50. But she moved and decided to start coaching out in Provo, Utah, at Timpanogos High School. And so same thing, we had talked for years. Why don't we do this out here? And so sure enough, and the coolest thing was I had a kid this last summer go out to Provo because he was going to a BYU camp, and he went and worked out with the team out there. So now that we've had some joint stuff like that, that's pretty cool. And he ran in a race out there and just crushed everybody wearing my Hot Feet uniforms. But he was a Kansas kid, and she trained him.
Nice,
cool,
very cool.
So that's become really, really nice.
What's the vision for Hot Feet moving forward? Is it shaping into what you expected?
I'm still not knowing what I'm doing, man. It's crazy because it just kind of grew organically like that. And when we first started putting just yard signs in, it's kind of how we got noticed from people. But I think we're at the numbers that we want to be. I mean, I could really grow it. In the summer, we can really take as many kids as we want. We've got the hours, we've got the coaches, we've got the track space. It's indoor that becomes a little bit of we have to turn away a lot of kids right now.
Where does one train indoors for track and field?
Well, here we don't really have. Kansas doesn't have a lot like other places do. And so in Kansas City. So we train, we do our power hours at KU Sports Performance, like I mentioned with Roger, on Mondays and Wednesdays. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, we break the groups up into sprinters and distance group. And we do that at Spiria Fitness, which is the old fitness center on the T-Mobile or Sprint World headquarters.
Nice.
That's a great facility. So now we rent that also on Wednesday nights for our hurdlers. And then I rent the Hy-Vee Arena in downtown Kansas City.
I was about to ask, does Hy-Vee Arena have a track? I thought they did.
They do. You've got UMKC, Rockhurst, you got colleges. They all use that thing. There's just not ever they tried to build something, but everybody wants in there, even other clubs.
Every other weekend there's a cheer something going on, a volleyball something going on.
That place is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And they've done, the track upstairs, people are like, it's really weird because it's 351 meters. And people are like, why didn't they build this? Well, the facility is, Kemper Arena was already there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, there's our Aspiria Fitness right there. That's the end of practice. Some of our speed maker drills.
Wild. Yeah, that Hy-Vee Arena is like state of the art, dude. I mean, I was like, yeah, if no one's been in there, it's just kind of awe-inspiring when you see it because of the full basketball court, like gymnasium situation on top of one another.
Crazy.
I'm like, it like hurt my head the first time I saw it. I was like, wait a second, there's another one of these?
Yeah, you don't know what floor you're on sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, at the top, when they built that, people were like, God, they could have made it a lot better. But they weren't going to spend any more money in there and build a whole 400-meter track, so they designed it. And, it's not maybe ideal, but at least it's someplace for our kids to work out. Amen. Colleges can use it, and we get a chance. So I rent that during the wintertime. I'll rent it on a couple Saturdays. Instead of going to a meet, I think we can get more done. Because that's the one thing that's really grown in the indoor track and field world is the amount of indoor meets. Mm-hmm. Washburn's new facility is phenomenal in Topeka.
Cool.
Northwest Missouri State with Coach Masters. Those facilities, well, actually it was Pittsburgh State probably put everybody on notice. So Kendall Gammons, I help navigate that or put that together. But if you've ever seen that facility they built at Pitt State, it's just incredible. And it kind of put KU, K-State, and Mizzou on notice for sure because that facility was awesome. Mm-hmm. And then Northwest Missouri State and Washburn came in and said, watch this. So then all of a sudden K-State came and just like, okay, we got – and then K-State came out and just pumped out an incredible facility. So there's a lot
Are these dedicated track and field facilities or are these multi-purpose?
At little multi-purpose. Yeah, look at Washburn's. See, their football field's on the other side of that. Mm-hmm. That rivals a lot of places in the country.
No doubt. I mean, that's incredible. It's beautiful.
So they do, and now they've realized through the schools that they can raise money by hosting track meets, for youth track meets. Mm-hmm. So Coach Masters up at Northwest Missouri State, I think he hosts 3 or 4. Washburn does the same thing. There's meets at Hy-Vee Arena, B&B Racing. They actually host that. There's a couple of them down there. We go to like the University of Arkansas. We'll go down in the middle of January. And there aren't 20 fast kids when we go there. There's 400 fast kids there. Yeah. But our kids, that's what they're looking for.
Luke, will you pull up that video I sent you? I got to know, JT, is this one of your people? Because I don't know if you've seen this video.
Oh. No, but that was...
Was this a big scandal within the track and field community? Because she bonks her.
She does. She hit her over the head with a baton.
Insane. The first time I saw this, I was like, that is crazy. The girl, I mean...
She wanted to win that bad, huh?
Did you see it?
Look at she just, yeah.
Then the wild thing about that when I first saw it was the girl afterwards said it wasn't on purpose.
Which was, there's cameras everywhere. That
I was about to say, you can't really, it's impossible to claim not on purpose there. But anyways, that was a high school girl that did that.
Have you had to deal with any of that in the meets that you've been around?
No, it gets a little rough in some of the starts. I mean, they're pushing and shoving in the 800 coming off. It's a lot of similar speed athletes, and so your elbows are coming up
jockeying
a little bit. Yeah, you're
a little
jockeying
bit
for position. We deal with that stuff in practices.
Yeah.
What happens if you get boxed here? What do we do here? So it's just a little race strategy type stuff, where it's not just a 100-meter runner, just fly as fast as you can. I mean, there's bumping. What happens when you fall down? So that part's pretty fun. The mental thing is what happened. I got boxed all the way in the back. Okay, are we going to cry about it, or what do we do next race? You're going to know if that happens, this is what we're going to do next time.
Right.
So just learn from it.
Right.
No, and our video of our 4x4 team 2 years ago of a girl named Delia Gregory anchoring, it was the reason I had a coach, and I think it was a head coach from Michigan, said the reason they offered her full ride was the way she finished that race, because it looked like we were out of it.
Yeah.
And this girl just absolutely
came from behind.
Just came. And her teammate, Audrey Brown, that's at Georgia Tech right now, she couldn't run that year. And if she would have run, because we broke the Nike national record, but we actually sort of the other team. Mm-hmm. And they beat us by, this is it. Yeah, that's Mia Couch out of Liberty North. She's back as a senior. Matter of fact, her sister just got recruited to play basketball at, I think, Drake. Yep. And the great thing about the commentators in this is they kept saying, I like hot feet. Mm-hmm. This was a learning mistake right here. She knew that this girl, she didn't know this girl had this much smoke left in her. So she tried to make a move a little too early on her.
Well, is the hot feet girl the orange shorts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's actually at Princeton right now.
Man, they're fast.
Other chicks just like, I'll pull away from you.
Yeah, that's the Jackrabbits out of either Georgia or South Carolina. I can't remember. But this is what they saw. She could have given up. This is just an all-star meet at Oregon. And this is what drives me.
It gets you there.
Oh.
And he told her mom, that's why I'm going to offer her a full ride. She could have just cruised in, not knowing that she had enough left in the tank. And I think that girl went on to, I think she went to South Carolina or Kentucky to run the girl she ran against. So
Wow.
That's wild.
Those big meets are fun. Those things have come out of nowhere too. Adidas, New Balance, Nike, hosting these just awesome meets for the kids.
With the track record you have, JT, you had to have had some kind of opportunities along the way to leave and coach at a university or school of some sort. How have you, discerned what to do in those situations?
The club gives me the flexibility to do other things. When I first started, I was also owned a gutter company.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, how long before you went full time is another great question.
That was about 3 or 4 years ago. But we had a gutter company here, my partner and I, and we had over 5,000 customers, and I just couldn't do it anymore. It's not I wasn't installing it; I was just giving people quotes. Mm-hmm. Thank you to the Hot Feet families that all bought gutters from us. But we just couldn't do that anymore, and it's just become so big. All the admin work, and I did want to take a high school job at one time for a couple of those girls that asked me to look into it, but I just kind of want to stick with our club and see if we can build them in the off season. The high school coaches around here do such an amazing job with the kids. I don't like when it's just like, oh, I got a history teacher for a long jump coach. It's like, you better respect the fact that that person's coming out here and giving you time of day.
Right.
And they are learning, they are caring, and all this stuff. So hopefully our kids are really good about when they do that, if it's not really a coach's main thing. But I just want to deal with the club. I love what I do. I feel so fortunate and so blessed that people sign up. Every time somebody does it, I still just go, I can't believe we're doing this. Mm-hmm. But now with the amount of, so this winter, and sorry, this is going all over the place, but like this indoor season, we have at least probably 50 kids that sign up for the indoor season. I don't even know them, but signed up, and they come from over an hour and a half away.
How often?
They'll come 2 days a week.
Wow.
So, I mean, you got kids coming from Pittsburgh, Kansas, we got like 6 from Warrensburg. We got Kearney, Liberty, Blue Springs. I mean, it's just, those are close places, but I mean, it's north of Topeka. Got a kid who's been driving in 2 days a week for like 4 years, north of Topeka, in the snow. He also ran 10.7 as a junior, so he's doing pretty good.
How often are you, your coaching philosophy, how have you dealt with over the years maybe that philosophy maybe clashing with, their full-time coaches, if you will, as far as like their high schools maybe?
Well, it's interesting, if I can, when I went back, if I can go back to when I started, I was really worried about, I didn't realize how many high school coaches hated club coaches. I was kind of blown away. So Coach Driscoll, who was at Blue Valley, who has passed away, was a pretty big supporter of mine. I played football with some guys that he knew that were older than him. Said I was a good guy, so he gave me the time of day. And what I started to do was realizing I needed him to come to practice. So I started inviting coaches to practice, and one of the ones was Coach Wallace, who also passed away from Olathe East. He had coached for 40 years, I think. Shout out, because he also bought gutters from me.
That was a good funnel.
So I asked him for years would he come out, and he just wouldn't give me the time of day. And I'm at North Relays, and I saw some coaches. I said, well, you guys, I'm not trying to do anything bad. Come look. If I'm doing something bad, tell me. And he came out to practice one time. He goes, oh, my God, I love what you're doing here. He goes, okay, I want to help coach, but I don't really want to deal with the high school kids. I'll deal with the younger ones, and I don't want to talk to any parents. So what I found was, if I got the coaches, the high school coaches, to start coming out and seeing what we did, and more importantly, come meet the kids that were getting ready to come up to them, I built those coaches up. I have them for so long. My goal is to keep them in the sport. And their job is to push them on to the next level. I just love it that they love the club so much that they get done with a full high school season, they come right back. Okay, I would do that, but you got to be a little crazy. Want to run that much track. But they love it. They love being back with their teammates in the summertime. It's like an all-star team. And people just have told me that all I do is recruit. Well, I'm like, I'm always talking to kids. I always want to recruit kids, of course, but they recruit each other. They recruit, for the coaches, for themselves. I mean, especially if they're fast and they want another. I always told the kids, if somebody runs past you on the track, you probably want that as a relay teammate.
Right.
Man, with the amount of love and passion and culture and community you guys have built with Hot Feet, you ever do like an alumni event or anything like that? Because how fun would that be? Getting a bunch of people back that have been
alumni race is what you should do.
An alumni meet or something like that.
That's a phenomenal idea. They do come back and work our Hot Feet Summer Classic. That we did maybe 5 years ago during Christmas. I did a get together at Stroud's.
Well attended.
It was
free cinnamon rolls.
It was packed. It was absolutely packed. It was so awesome. We tried to do a recording like this, but it was just on like a phone.
Sure.
With different athletes that were gone. They were in college and they were back. And it's like, hey, what did Hot Feet mean to you and stuff like that? Well, after it all gets said and done, we didn't record really any of it because it was so loud. You couldn't hear what they said. But, friendship, love. I mean, I got some girls on the team right now. I heard them say the other day to some young kids, you're about ready to meet some of your best friends. And I was like, God, and they all go to different schools. And I got a girl.
There's a certain level of intimacy I feel like you get when you go through a shared struggle like that, right? We always talk about hard workouts bring people together, and it becomes kind of a fraternity as far as your guys' community that you've built.
Well, and those are I totally agree. And it's like-minded athletes. So when they get done with something, I mean, they can be mad, especially the 400 runners. They can be mad at me for a second because it hurts, but they got each other. And I can see them yapping across the field. That's okay. When they get a medal put around their neck, they might remember. Get a college scholarship. But, yeah, it's a lot of like-minded kids that come to work together. And I love it. One year, I saw a bunch of kids that we were at practice at Shawnee Mission South, and they all just look exhausted. And I get it's summer, it's hot. We don't complain about the heat, or everybody does push-ups. It's summer track. And I looked, and I'm like, it's timeout practice. You guys, what's going on? Everybody in here looks like, and they're like, well, we just got back from Oceans of Fun. And I was like, Oceans of Fun? I go, who went to Oceans of Fun? And it was like 20 of them. And I had no clue. And I was like, you guys all, like, I didn't even realize they were friends like that. And I was like, you did? They go, yeah. I mean, you know, so-and-so's dating so-and-so and so-and-so's dating so-and-so. And I had, no, I'm just yelling at them to run faster. So I'm like, all right, well, next time don't go to it before practice. Do it on an off day.
Right.
But I loved it because it's the community stuff like that. Really, really proud of that part. The growth of humans, just the way that they start. I mean, I had a girl named Izzy Ross that was with me since like 3rd or 4th grade all the way through, and now she's at Ball State playing soccer, even though she was a state champ at Blue Valley Southwest in track. But she stayed with the soccer route, but still ran track all the time because she knew it helped her with her speed. Now she's at Ball State. But, I mean, that's somebody that stayed with me that long. Delia that we just watched the video on, I don't even know, 5th grade, 6th grade, somewhere in there, all the way through their senior year. And they'll all come back and work out this indoor season. So I got a text about that from a kid named Miller Jones that's at Detroit Mercy. He's a hurdler. He's asked, hey, can I come back and work out this winter? Yes. Come tell the kid what it's like to be a freshman athlete. Because as some of you guys know, it's not easy.
Right.
So,
beyond athletics, what kind of legacy are you wanting to build through Hot Feet?
Ooh. I guess if you build it, they will come. You know, I don't know. I just woke up one day and I looked at the track like this summer and I'm like, oh my God, look at all these coaches that care and working. Look at all these people and the success we're having. I don't know the legacy thing. It's really that the kids learn something along what track and field does for you, you know, which is personal accomplishment stuff. It's okay to get your butt kicked. It's not okay not to get back on the line.
I'm with you, man. For anyone who listening who wants to support or get involved with Hot Feet, where can they best start that process?
I'd go to our website. We are having some stuff redone right now because I want to really acknowledge our coaching staff. It is unreal. And they need to be noticed because a lot of them do personal training stuff like that too. But if they go to our website, which is www.hotfeettc.com, and they go to that, my information's on there, and they can contact us. Look, well, they just changed the website. I see right there up above.
Tell us about Warm Feet.
It said indoor registration today is full. Warm Feet, they're on the bottom left. That's actually at our Hot Feet Summer Classic. That's my youngest daughter on the right, Nola, and then my son right there in the middle. That's Hudson. That's a long time ago. Wow.
That's awesome.
The Warm Feet is camp styles that we do for kids ages like 4 to 6.
Yeah.
And we have to limit how many kids do that because we'll have one coach per 3 kids. If you have 10 kids and one coach, they're not going to be able to handle 3-year-olds like that. Mm-hmm. But we do the camp style. And what's really cool about the camps when we do them is we invite the kids. So it's Monday through Thursday. Friday, if there's a rain that day. But on a Wednesday or Thursday, we invite the little kids at 7 o'clock to our practice. So the 7 to 12-year-olds are finishing. The 13 to 18-year-olds are just getting there. So everybody's at the track at the same time. Well, they made a deal a couple years ago where they made a tunnel. All the kids stood together in lane 1. And I sent them all the way down from the 100 meters. Hundreds of kids in lane 1. Mm-hmm. And we took the little Warm Feet kids down, and they had to run through the tunnel, and all the kids welcoming them into the club.
How cool.
And, I mean, you look and their coach that worked for them at Warm Feet put a medal around their neck, gave them a T-shirt. And when they put the medal around their neck, you could look in the crowd, and there's people crying. I mean, they're just like, this is cool. And little kids high-fiving older kids and older kids. That's what's fun about the summer track meets. Like I said earlier, when you see a 17-year-old cheering for a 7-year-old, you're like, how do you even know that kid? But we try to make sure that we keep those bonds. Man,
that's awesome. I love that.
Warm Feet's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Love what you do. We're so happy that you shared your story today. We have one question we ask all of our guests. I'll let Kyle ask it.
You're a Kansas City guy. You grew up here in Kansas City, yep. Right? And the question is, what is your favorite barbecue in Kansas City?
Oh, wow.
One spot. Boy, where are you taking people?
You just got me right there. You know, that is, I'm sure everybody says that. That's a toughie in KC. Because I can be a Gates guy. I'm probably grabbing a sandwich on my way home from you guys. because I love their ham barbecue. But I'm probably going Oklahoma Joe's.
Solid choice.
What's your order there? Are you getting a Z-Man or are you getting?
No, you can't believe this. I am just a ham guy everywhere. I mean, not even ribs, not even burnt ends, stuff like that. I just try the different ham.
You're our first ham guy, dude.
You are. And
love
also
it.
to say no ribs, no burnt ends. My gosh, sir, that's crazy.
What are you gonna say no to them if they're offered to you?
No. I'll just get them. It's just not going to be my first choice. I mean, my friends that all grew up here in Overland Park called the Dirty Dozen. We all used to go to Chartreuse Caboose.
Yeah.
Right. So
Philly cheesesteaks guy.
we grew up on that. And you bring a Philly guy in here, he knows that that's the real deal. That's great. My friends to this day still laugh at me because all I get typically there's the ham. so we can go into a Philly
on
place to get a
Thanksgiving,
ham.
are you like saying no to turkey and just having ham?
No, I'm a dark meat and absolutely knocking out mashed potatoes and especially stuffing.
Yeah.
Is stuffing the number one Thanksgiving food?
No, number one with gravy on it.
Other question is
that's why we're going to do the trot run the day after, so I can burn it off.
Yeah, is mac and cheese a Thanksgiving food?
Man, I would say no, and everybody in my family would just disagree.
Man,
Ooh,
we got one.
He would say no.
It's a good premise.
He would say no.
It's a good premise for an office culture vid. But last question: do you and your family do the turkey trot?
We don't, but my new wife is got an awesome new pair of running shoes, and I see her jogging now. So I think some of that stuff might be in our future.
They let you walk. They let you walk on the turkey trot. You know what? We did it for the first time last year. We're doing it again this year. Dude, I'm a huge believer in it. You know what? The best part is we have a 6-year-old now. She's 5 at the time, but she came with us and she walked it and then ran it sometimes, right? But everybody was phones in their pockets and everybody was chatting the whole time. So it was awesome just to have the family time where no one was distracted, no one had a video game out, no one was doing something else. Everybody was just hanging out with each other. It was cool.
Was trotting, as they would say.
That's what they say.
Just a little trot.
Just a little trot.
There's so many people that have the turkey heads, dude. Like the big stuffed
Classic.
turkey hat.
Can you do a turkey trot without the turkey hat on?
I didn't even know those things existed until I went to.
There's some pretty good outfits out there.
It's unbelievable. The inflatable turkeys.
Yeah.
People running in those, man, that's cool.
Even just the normal running shorts that the distance guys wear now and girls. I mean, just the funky colors, all the different things that are on them. But the turkey trot, we've had a lot of hot feet kids do that.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it, man. Hey, such a pleasure, JT. Great.
Thank you so much for coming on. Really, really great
for
hearing about Hot Feet and hearing your story.
Thank you guys so much for having me, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Great call.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.